Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Wakili Jacinta. I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and today I'll be taking you through the process of purchasing land in Kenya or in Nairobi, where middlemen are usually involved in the process. This is going to be a very detailed step-by-step professional guide on how you can purchase land without being conned. It is going to contain all the documentations that you may require, all the requirements, and the general procedure until that title reads your name. Welcome. Step number 1 is that you identify the area of your interest. This is the location of the property you want. Number 2 is that you're going to identify the actual seller or the person who owns the property that you want to purchase. Step number 3 is that you're going to arrange for a meetup with the actual owner and request for the following documentations. Number 1, a copy of the title deed or the leasehold certificate or the allotment letter, together with the ID and the KRA pin of the person who owns the property. This is just to make sure that the name that appears on the title deed, it is the same name that appears on the ID, and it is also the same name that appears on the KRA pin. Number 4 is conducting a search at the land registry. This is one of the most crucial stages during a land purchase. This is because this is where most of you start getting conned. This is where the game begins. This is whereby your money starts going down the drain. Why am I saying this? If you do not conduct your search properly, this is where now the conmen play their game properly. Remember, a search can be manipulated. A search can be tailored to contain whatever information you, the buyer, want to see or wants to hear. So it is very important for you to engage a professional, or you do your search properly. It is also very important to engage an advocate during this period. This is because an advocate is going to make sure that the search which is being done is a proper search. The advocate will also conduct due diligence. Remember, due diligence contains also confirmation of beacons, the location of the property, where the property is located. Is there an access road to the property you are purchasing? Is there electricity? Some of these things I know most of you do not consider them or purchasing. That's why you usually end up in the wrong hands of the conmen. So during this period, it is very important for you to engage a professional or an advocate to help you with the due diligence. Step number 5 is a request for mutations from the seller. You can also obtain the mutations from the registry. Step number 6 is an extra step whereby you can purchase the map, which shows the size of the plot you're purchasing, the physical location, other neighboring plots. It also confirms the beacon, etc. Step number 7 is that once now you are sure that this property belongs to so and so, it is now the stage whereby you go to the advocate, and the advocate drafts for you an agreement, a proper agreement that contains the proper clauses. And always remember to read the agreement that has been drafted before you sign it. It is very important for you to know what the content of the agreement before you sign it, because this is also ndio munaoshwa munakuwa wasafi kabisa. Always make sure that the agreement you are signing, you know the content of whatever you are signing. Step number during this period, by the way, before I move to the next step, is that during the execution of the agreement, that is basically the signing of the agreement, this is whereby now you as the buyer, you need to do a deposit of the purchase price. You can agree to pay 10% of the purchase price. You can agree to pay 30% of the purchase price, or you can also do 50%. This is entirely an agreement between you and the seller. What you agree is what you are going to deposit. Now let me move to the next step, which is step number 8, is that after the execution of the agreement and the payment of the deposit, remember there are other documents that we call the completion documents, that most that you may require that are needed during a land transaction. Number one is a spousal consent for sellers who are married. Number two is the original title deed. Number three is the passport, 3 copies of passport photos. Number four is proof of rent payment or lease payment if the property is a leasehold. Number five is LCB consent from the land board. Number six is the seller's ID. Number seven is the seller's KRA pin. Remember, we had requested that before we conducted our search. And now step number 10 is execution of the transfer form. This is usually prepared by the advocate and it is executed by both of you, both the buyer and the seller. Once the execution is done, or during this time, during this stage, this is where now the seller says that you need to complete my money, please pay the balance. It is okay to pay the balance during this time, or if you have an advocate, it is also very important to tell the advocate to retain the balance until transfer is effected in your name. I repeat again, you can pay the balance of the purchase price, or you can request the advocate to retain the balance at the client's account until transfer is effected in your name. Once now the balance is paid or it has been retained in a client's account, pending the transfer or pending the new title, is that step number 11 is you as the buyer, you need now to pay the stamp duty at the registry. Stamp duty is usually 2% in rural areas or 4%. The percentage actually depends with the locality of the property you are purchasing. 2% of the valuation or 4% of the valuation. Once you pay that, now you give the registry 2 to 4 weeks and wait for your new title. Now, if you engage me, I go an extra mile. After a month or two, I conduct another search to make sure that the title now reads your name. That is all for today. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for the support. Kindly subscribe down below. Hit that subscription button. Also share, like and comment.